like, share, and subscribe. And ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So there was a bit of a tragedy happened. Was it Wednesday? No, Friday. I heard about it on Friday. Just as the Sabbath was coming in. Now I'm doing Sabbath. I'm offline for 25 hours. And then it percolated a lot over the Sabbath. And I think this is a potential to grow to be a much bigger story. There's certainly layers upon layers upon layers of it right now, which is why I'm making this video. There's a lot going around, so I just thought, and also I got my own personal take on it, which I think I'm the only person who can give this take, so there's that. So before we get into the story, I am of course talking about Alec Baldwin. You've probably seen the thumbnail already. I have no idea what I'm doing for a thumbnail, because I can't get too jokey. Somebody died, it's like, I don't know. I do kind of want to have him look kind of stupid holding the gun and go, ooh, and then have the headline be happy. Alec Baldwin finds out happiness is not a warm gun. But I don't know. That seems a bit. I'll decide when to make it. I don't know. So yeah, I'm talking about, of course, talking about Alec Baldwin, who there was a death involving him on this movie set. And it's a really, really crazy story. Before we get into it, can you hit the like button? That'd be fan-dabby double dozy. Can you hit the like button? Can you hit the share button? Can you hit that subscribe button? YouTube noticed I was getting some subscribers, and they started whipping some off again. So if you're subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. And as I said, if you could, if you're not subscribed, if you can consider hitting the subscribe button, that'd be lovely. That'd be really nice. Thank you very much. And comment. Let me know what you think. So the story is, whenever it was, there's a movie called Rust, I believe, that Alec Baldwin is both producing and starring in. Bad news for him that he's producing it. And then he was on set. He was being they were doing a rehearsal. He was given a weapon. And now here's where it's not clear. Did he fire it thinking it was not loaded? Did he fire it thinking there were blanks in it? Or did he not fire it and it misfired? It just fire by itself. Either way, when it did fire, it was pointing at the director of photography, a woman by the name of Hauna Hutchins, and killed her. My condolences to her family. I'm terribly sorry. And into the director Joel Souza. All right, so that's essentially the story, but it's a weird story, right? It's a weird story for a number of reasons. Firstly, the first rule of gun safety that any movie star that has had gun training, which Alec Baldwin absolutely has had, is you never point. When you're given a weapon, you first thing you check to see if it's empty, if there's anything in the anything in the chamber, right? You never point at somebody, and then you always point it down, right? So those rules kind of went by. In fact, if I can find it, I'll cut it in. There's an incredible clip of Will Smith on the set of Bad Boys for Life or something, and then somebody picks up the prop gun, right, or the gun, and holds it in an unsafe manner. Will Smith takes it out of his hand, empties it, makes sure there's nothing in the chamber, and holds it back to him, right? Like, gun safety is something that's very, very, very important, right? So that's one reason this story is so weird, because he's Alec Baldwin is A, trained in gun safety, and B, very, very anti-gun at the same time, right? So there's that going on. The other thing going on is there's not supposed to be live ammunition on a movie set at all, and if there is, they have to be kept minimally 20 feet away from the weapon. So this should have been impossible. The reporting that I've been hearing, it's not recorded, it's not included in the report I'm going to go over with you, is that this was a very unhappy movie set. It was a low budget movie, and the local crew were being treated terribly. This is people have been tweeting this out for the last week or so, like how they've been treated so incredibly terribly by Alec Baldwin and the production crew. So is this some kind of like revenge that got out of hand? Could be. Was it like a setup? Was it like there's a lot of things go down, but here's my take on it, right? Here's my take on what and how this happened. Now, I'm a rabbi, okay, a real rabbi. I am a religious fundamentalist. I am a Bible fan, which means I believe God exists. Not only do I believe God exists, I believe God is infinite, right? There is no end to God, which means there's no real division between God and anything, including you. In fact, I remember I was at art school in the 80s. We had this guest lecturer, Mike Lake, who was like a royal artist at the time. And he did one of the exercises he did was really fascinating. I'm just looking for something to hold up to give you explain it to you. Yeah, let's take this knife for example, right? He said instead of drawing getting something and drawing this bottle of whatever this is, right? Instead of drawing the bottle, draw the non-bottle, draw the non-space, the unbottle, right? And that I've always found that a very good parable to understand how God exists, because God is in everything. Another way of looking at it is, you ever seen the movie The Thing, right? When they do that test to see which one's really the thing. They take a bit of blood from each person, because every bit of the thing is sentient, and they put like a hot wire in it, and it goes, runs off, and the guy explodes and turns back into another thing. Okay, that sort of thing. So I think I connect everything to God. I think because that's what infinite is. Best example to understand this, right? And this comes from Kabbalah. A parable to understand the infinite nature of God is running white light through a prism. If you run a white light through a prism, it breaks into red, blue, yellow, all the constituent colors, right? All those exist within it, but you can't see it. But so that's essentially how I think. So anyway, that's why I think. So Alec Baldwin, I think it was very political, very, very much hated Trump. Now, I think Trump, and again, this is my wibbly-wobbly, super religious worldview. I think Trump was somebody who God quite liked. He's a scuzzy guy, right? If you want to tell me that did Trump sleep with porn stars? Very probably. Okay, very probably. I would believe that, right? But I think it's something that God actually quite liked, because I think in this strange cultural war, he became a general essentially for biblical values, which I think we have the opposite of right now, right? Of there being definitions between things, right? And so Alec Baldwin was very good at lampooning him, and I liked him doing it as well. I think his Trump was better than Trump in a lot of ways, I did like it as well. But I do think that we're in this like messianic process. I think we're getting to the end of it, where things are going to get a bit spicy, right? I think we're in the last few months of it, but I think this is the word punishment's the wrong word. The word the Jewish word is tikkun, right? If there's something wrong with it, okay. The basic idea is God wants us all to be brilliant, right? God wants us to be brilliant. We do stupid things. We do self-destructive things. So God sends hardships to us and that suffering helps balance out the wrongdoings that we have done. So this is what I think is going on here. And if I may go a step further, you need to have some merit, you need to be some meritorious some way to get what we're going to call punishment, a tikkun. To get punishment. Otherwise, you're going to face it after you die, when there's no chance of one doing anything redemptive, right? So that's genuine. When I first heard the story, that's the way I looked at it. Listen, if you're an atheist, just think of it as another looking at it, how other person thinks. If you whatever, but I mean, I really. Oh yeah. So what was the merit he had to have this happen to him? His brother is very, very Christian, very, very loudly, devoutly Christian. And listen, I don't know him. I don't know how honest he is or how real he is with his Christianity. I get the feeling that he's sincere. I think he probably prayed for his brother. I think this is that prayer being answered, right? So this is just a weird way of looking at things, and it's the way I do look at things. It really is. It absolutely is. So, all right, let's read the story. Alec Baldwin issued statements after discharging firearm that killed cinematographer Helena. Oh, Helena. I bet it's spelled. Is that Helena, you think? Helena Hutchins. Alec Baldwin has released a statement. Blah blah. We just said that. So the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office confirmed that Baldwin discharged a firearm on set set of Rust on October 21st. So Sunday's the 24th. Saturday was 23rd. Friday. So this is this was Thursday. So I think it was almost certainly an accident, right? From Baldwin's point of view, I think it was almost certainly an accident. But he's still responsible, right? I mean, that's all the gun safety stuff. You never point a gun at anyone. Yes, he was given a gun. My guess is probably a rifle, because I don't think a Western Colt would probably have enough pack to go. It went through the cinematographer and also hit the director. So my guess is they probably had it was probably a rifle, and it went through several people. It went through one person, went through the cinematographer, and then hit the director. But he was still pointing it at someone. They always have to be out of the line of sight. This is why movies cost so much money to make, because there are people there who are its job it is to make sure these rules are followed. The Santa Fe County, so he's in a lot of trouble, right? It might be an accident. He's still liable, right? He's still liable. It was still in his hands. Another Jewish idea that I think works here. We have an expression called "Ein shliach b'davar avera." There is no messenger. There's no in terms of doing a sin. If somebody says, go and steal that for me, right? No, go and steal that, and you steal it, then you are responsible for that sin. You can't say, well, he told me to. I was only following the orders. You are responsible for anything in your hands, right? And Alec Baldwin knows this, right? So, not looking. And normally, you go and sue a producer when this kind of like breakdown happens on set. Who happens to be Alec Baldwin? Not looking good. Not his lucky day, if I may say so. A statement from the department says Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to Bonanza Creek Ranch movie set of Rust on October 21st when a 911 caller reported shooting on set. It continued. The sheriff's office confirms that 2 individuals were shot on the set of Rust. Hutchins, 42, director of photography, and Joel Souza, 48, were shot when a prop firearm was discharged by actor Alec Baldwin. 68, producer and actor. Bad news. Miss Hutton was transported via helicopter to University of Mexico Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Yeah, she was probably killed instantly. Yeah, I mean, I feel so bad for him. It's terrible. Mr. Souza was transported by ambulance to Christus St. Vincent Regional Medical Center, where he is undergoing treatment for injuries. I think he's going to be fine. That's what I heard. They said. They concluded the investigation remains open. No charges have been filed. It's got to be a manslaughter charge. I don't think it's going to be anything. I mean, he didn't follow the gun safety protocols, right? Which I think you're liable. I think he's looking at jail time, right? I think he's genuinely looking at jail time. Witnesses continue to be interviewed by detectives. I mean, if there's any justice, which there isn't. So, there's that too. So that might work out in his favor. The Santa Fe Sheriff Office spokesman, Juan Rios told New York, we're trying to determine right now what type of projectile and was used in the firearm. Like, was it switched out? Were the blank rounds switched out with live rounds deliberately, maliciously by some disgruntled former person working on set? Because a bunch of people walked off the set pissed off. So did that happen? Sounds like it could have done, but I think Baldwin's still in the line of fire. According to IndieWire, IATSC Local 44 Secretary Treasurer Anthony Palwork sent an email to membership describing the event as an accidental weapons discharge. That's what it sounds like. And added, a single live round was accidentally fired on set by principal actor, hitting both director of photography, director of photography, local 600 member, Helena Hutchins, and director Joel Souza. Local 44 has confirmed that the prop, set, decoration, special effects, and construction departments were staffed by New Mexico crew members. There were no local 44 members on the call sheet. Yeah, because I think they all just left. Oh, look at this! It's Alec Baldwin and Meryl Streep. They're probably having a laugh about who their good friend. What's he called again? Me Too guy. The Me Too guy. Not Epstein. Keep thinking Epstein. No, that's the Beatles. That's the other Jewy name with the Beatles. You know who he is. Whatever. They're like, shut up. You didn't know he was raping bloody women. And then they get up and wag their finger at America. You're immoral. That's why, by the way, most people aren't being very empathetic to Baldwin here, right? It's like, mate, you've been a bit of a dick, haven't you? IATSE Local 44 claimed the route live round was used. Claimed the line round used. The Santa Fe Sheriff's Office spokesman Juan Rios told Deadline, "We haven't even begun the forensic on that issue, but it sounds like it was. That hasn't been determined by us as of yet. We expect to have more information next week as our investigation continues." Larry Zarnoff, an armorer who has worked on numerous films and TV shows, including Rampage, Dunkirk, Collateral, and Iron Man 2, told New York Times, "The safety guides that we live by on television and movie sets prohibit the use of live ammunition on set." Right, so this was weird. It does sound like they were set up, right? It does sound like that some skullduggery was afoot. Our production will typically institute rules for keeping a safe distance from the muzzle of a gun, normally 20 feet, he added. There's that too. Okay. Now Baldwin's issuing a statement. So, and again, listen, I'm not gloating. I believe he feels terrible, right? I think, look, he killed the person. I think he feels absolutely terrible, right? I think he's also liable, right? But I think he feels terrible. And so I'm not like, ugh. But listen, I'm sorry. If you wanted empathy, maybe try having some to the half of the country that you were insanely and relentlessly rude to. You know, it's just the way it is. I'm saying, here's the thing. Everybody wants to move on when it's them in trouble, right? You know, like, they'll treat you like garbage. They'll do terrible things, and then they're in trouble. Saying, "Oh, can we just move on? Where's your compassion?" Exactly. There are no words to convey my shock and sadness regarding the tragic accident that took the life of Helena Hutchins, a wife, mother, and deeply admired colleague of ours. I am fully cooperating with the police investigation to address how this tragedy occurred, and I'm in touch with her husband, offering my support to him and his family. My heart is broken for her husband and their son, who we all knew and loved. Helena. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But man, yeah, look, this is bad news for Alec Baldwin. So, Mike Cernovich, political pundit, okay, has been tweeting about this. So he said, quite actually, when Dick Cheney accidentally shot somebody, Hollywood did comedy sketches. It was a punchline. Alec Baldwin even blogged it. He hoped Cheney would be arrested. Keep your fake sanctimony off my timeline, because he was taking the piss, right? And they're like, a person has died. Where? If you play by these rules, then you have a point, but you don't. Where was it? What was the things he posted? Hollywood must be shut down completely. Even one death is too many. I did kind of agree with that, really. I thought about that when they kept pushing for to outlaw weapons in the US, essentially. I think, well, why not just outlaw guns from Hollywood, right? Why not outlaw guns from being in movies and TV shows and make them look cool in any way? Why not do that? I'll tell you why they wouldn't. They'll do it now because they're broken and they will do anything they're told. But back 5 years ago, they're like, no, that's my freedom of speech, it's my right to freedom of expression. You can't take that away. Now they're happy to have it taken away. Hollywood actually discriminates against conservatives. Maybe that's not a good idea when guns are being used on set. Maybe you should hire the most qualified people when life and death matters. So he's saying, replying to Kurt Schiller. I wonder what Kurt Schiller said. Why does anti-gun Hollywood use prop guns at all? Just don't use them in film. Problem solved. Yeah, I can see people not being too happy about this. Alec Baldwin isn't a good person. That much I believe. No one has any idea what his publicist said to complicit Hollywood media is accurate. You're repeating PR talking points if you claim to know what happened. Okay. Exactly, yeah. I think this probably went down because he was not a nice person and he upset people on set. And then they did this, which is also wrong. That doesn't make him the person who if anybody added in live rounds into it and expecting it to be blank rounds, yeah, that's also very bad. That's also and much more much more problematic, I think, is the word we're after for that. But also Baldwin is, I mean, he could probably sue the person who did it because he's going to go to jail for I think about a year or two. You killed somebody. I think that's just where it is. But again, listen, this is America 2021. I think if the apocalypse doesn't happen, there's no justice, and he's on the side of the the elite. So they'll probably look after him if they can. That's what you can expect to happen. So I hope this brings you up to date. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.